What up, gang? Carolina Jackpot time coming at you on Tuesday morning. It's 4:40 a.m. I'm showing off those skills once again, driving down the South Carolina back roads, backwards, in the middle of the night to deliver those delicious potato chips to folks who's ready to get snacking. Anyway, if you're new around here, consider staying true around here. Subscribe to this channel, and I promise you'll have a really good time. Live stream from this past Saturday. Rob Sanders is working on putting clips of the live stream together as we speak. I know I've had several people request from me the entire live stream to be sent to them there via the direct messenger on X. I'm going to get it to you. I was so dang tired yesterday. When I got home, I read your message and I zonked out and I didn't do it. I sat down, took a nap, and then I watched this ball game last night, which I want to talk about and want to get into for a minute. As a Gamecock fan, I have felt this little bit of pain, this little bit of kind of needling jealousy of other fan bases, in that we see these coaches out there every year who just continuously crap down the back of their own leg. Coaches that you know could do a better job than what they're doing. Players that you know could do a better job than what they're doing. Some reason just can't get it right. And seemingly the whole entire college football world on the internet makes fun at these people, does the point and laugh routine, and just gets basically their jollies off of making these people, basically a mockery. Folks like Jimbo Fisher, folks like Sunbelt Billy Napier. And now, recently, last night, if you watch the game between Florida State and Boston College, Florida State quarterback DJ Ukelele, who I will refer to as the ukulele. I'm not sure, but I think that I'm the first person who ever called him the ukulele. It had been made famous on the internet after he became quarterback at Clemson, and people could see that he wasn't very good. But I was called him ukulele way back in 2019 when he first committed to Clemson. I was doing the whole little ding 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 ding. Anyway, and I got called a bigot for doing it, though, too, by the way, by a bunch of snowflakes. But anyway, I think I coined the ukulele, but it doesn't matter. I won't hold anybody up for ransom to get payment on the trademark for that. Anyway, have we look, you ever look at a stat line of a ball game after you've watched it and you say, how were X and X individual stats this good? Right? Last night, Florida State loses to Boston College 28-13. DJ Ukelele is 21 of 42. Now that's 50% throwing the ball. That's not good. It's not the worst I've ever seen, but it's not good. 21 of 42, 272 yards passing, which surprised the hell out of Carolina Jackpot that he had that many yards passing. I went to bed on this game in the third quarter. I was done watching it. I knew what the final result and outcome was going to be. I actually placed I did a parlay on this game, Boston College to cover, and I actually parlayed this with the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks game going over the total runs number of 8 yesterday, or 9. That was 9, I think it was. The only reason I picked this one is because I listened to some of those Las Vegas podcasts. And I listen to a lot of podcasts riding up and down the road. I got a lot of windshield time, and I'm just like, okay, well, that sounds good. The Dodgers, they're good. They probably score a lot of runs. I think I'll roll with that. Well, I lucked up, and it just happened to hit. there on that. But the Boston College thing with Florida State was pretty much a sure thing to me. So I probably should have just left it alone and rolled with that. I didn't really think that I had a good idea that they could win the ball game going in, but I felt very, very confident in them being able to cover. I mean, people don't give enough credit to Boston College for actually having, an ex-NFL mind coaching the team, someone who'd worked under Nick Saban coaching the team. And, oh, by the way, Boston College has had solid offensive lines there for years, and they still do, by the way. And that was started. Well, I don't know that it was started, but I know that it was. It was made prominent under one Steve Adazio when he was the coach there. Now they had lots of other problems, so he ended up losing his job there, but they have always been solid at that. And I knew that Florida State, with their problems with DJ Ukulele, that they were going to struggle in this game, and they did. So, I really don't get it, and I can't throw a whole lot of shade on him, or I feel guilty about throwing a whole lot of shade at this guy and his quarterback play, because I'm going to get the whole, well, look at your quarterback routine. Well, the same people that are saying, look at your quarterback routine, are probably the same people that are telling Carolina Jackpot to pump the brakes because this was his first start. I had people yesterday in the YouTube comment section. I love the YouTube comment section because everybody down there is a coach. Everybody wants to talk RPOs, and they want to talk schemes, and they want to talk this and that, and everybody down there seems to have some kind of dry erase board in their head that they're working on, drawing up plays for X player to make things more effective than what they are right now. Okay, well, maybe you do. I don't know, but I was told in the YouTube comment section that I needed to pump the brakes on Lenora Sellers in my comments from the other day, that he didn't look like an SEC quarterback because Connor Shaw went 3 of 9 and had a terrible outing in his first start against East Carolina almost 15 goddamn years ago. Really? That's your flex on this? That's what you're going to try to level this argument up with? Connor Shaw playing East Carolina 15 years ago. If you don't remember, if you don't know, then you don't know. You're probably not a Gamecock fan, then you don't know. I was actually at that game. It was in Charlotte. It was 2011. Connor Shaw was named the starter for that ball game against East Carolina in the Gamecocks home away from home Bank of America. Well, used to be our home away from home Bank of America Stadium. We used to play pretty well there and win some games. Here lately, we hadn't done a whole lot of that. We actually got embarrassed the last time we were there by Mac Brown's North Carolina team. But the game was there, and the last week of fall camp. People call it fall camp. I call it summer camp. It's summer camp down here because it's like, it's 150 degrees all during the duration of the dadgum thing, and usually during the first 2 ball games of the year. Steve Spurrier punished Stephen Garcia, who was the starting quarterback, and didn't let him start the game against East Carolina. What Stephen Garcia did to get punished for that, I don't remember. This guy did a lot of stupid things at South Carolina. He was living the college lifestyle, right? But the thing is, you're the quarterback of the football team, and you can't lead the same lifestyle that all of your friends who aren't on the football team and don't have that responsibility on their shoulders are leading. And Stephen just never could seem to get that through his head as a Ute. Now apparently he has gotten those things through his head. He actually does a podcast, and it's pretty decent. But anyway, aside from that, he had to start the game, and he looked like crap. Well, actually, the whole team looked like crap, not just him. They fell behind like 14-0. Ended up coming back and winning the game. I think it was 56-35. East Carolina just totally outmatched by that Gamecock team. But here's the thing, people. here's the thing for all of you who want to sit there and tell me that. Nobody thought that Connor Shaw was going to go down and be a flaming turd because he was having a bad, shaky outing there against East Carolina. Because guess what? He had that Lenoris does not have. And this is not Lenoris' fault. He had competent coaching around him. He had a competent offensive coordinator in G.A. Mangus, oh, by the way, who happened to be his quarterback coach. Now, you can say all you want to. That guy's down there in Columbia somewhere right now coaching high school football. What I wouldn't give to have him back again. He can go pee on as many walls as he wants to. But besides from that, I mean, I don't know how effective he would be because you also had on that staff something a little bit more important. You had a competent head coach there in Steve Spurrier, one of the most brilliant offensive minds ever in the game of college football. So Lenoris does not have that. He has howdy doody dumb fuck for a offensive coordinator, and he has howdy doody dumb fuck's older brother for a head coach. The kid is behind the 8 ball. With that being said, I don't know. I don't know if it's coaching or if it's ability or if it's scheme. I don't know. And none of you know either. None of us can really discern that. But I sat there and watched him throw the ball at receivers' feet quite a few times on Saturday afternoon. I saw him overthrow Nick Harbor, who's like 6'5". I mean, there's no chemistry between him and the receivers. There was not Saturday anyway. Okay, but guess what? This was his first start, and I'm going to lay off of that. I'm going to lay off of it for the rest of the week anyway, until we play Kentucky. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Hey, and I've always told people too, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And if somebody ends up proving me wrong, I'm wrong. Either that being a coach, a player, whatever. If they end up proving me incorrect in my assessment and I have to eat the crow, just give me like some hot sauce. Now, I don't know. I don't really like hot sauce all that much. I think it kills the taste of the food. I like sweet stuff, so give me some jelly or salt and pepper or something of that nature to kind of kill it a little bit, and you can at least try to cook it properly. I will be glad to eat an entire plate full of crow, and then you provide me with my favorite beverage to wash it down with. I'll be glad to. In that, here's what I'm trying to say. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I want to be the idiot that you look back at later and say, look at how dumb this guy was and how wrong it was. I want that. I want that. I want nothing more than these people to succeed. I don't want to see them be failures and have a terrible season and end up transferring, or the coaches end up getting fired. And I want to see them turn it around. But history so far and the eye test of what we have seen so far has kind of shown that that's not going to happen. I don't know how much of this brutal cycle of suck we have to keep going through for you to realize that Carolina Jackpot's probably correct. And unfortunately, I don't want to be correct. I don't want to be. The cold hard truth, sometimes it's hard to hear. It's even harder to deliver. And that's what I told somebody yesterday in the comment section of my buddy, the Rooster Man, who runs the Gamecock Grind with Rooster channel, who said something to the effect of, I don't know, Rooster made a point and he said, you're spot on with that. And I had to unsubscribe from Carolina Jackpot because blah, 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 blah. I'm always reading these comments on these videos. Maybe it may take me a day or two to get around to them, but I'm always reading. So if you're going to talk smack like that about me, come on to this channel in the comment section. Let me know that you're unsubscribing here. Okay, if you want to announce your departure, you feel the need to do that, which you don't really, you can just hit the unsubscribe button on something and just be gone. And nobody's going to care one way or the other, really. But you got to go on another channel and let them know that you unsubscribe to this one. That's ballsy as hell right there. That's really that's really first class. But anyway, I told this individual, hey, you can kick rocks, and the fact of the matter is, you don't like the fact that I delivered a message that you didn't want to hear. Well, guess what? I didn't want to have to deliver that message. So disappointed in that first game and that performance. So disappointed in the way that turned out. And somebody, and then, of course, I got this one in the comment section too. Oh, y'all won Carolina jackpot. Just get. We might have won the battle, but I certainly feel like we've lost the war, because you've got a major step up in competition on Saturday. Kentucky, despite the fact that I don't like them, never have, never will. It's a wet fart of a program, I feel like. Got a wet fart coach. They are significantly better than what we are so far this year from what we've seen as a sample size. So I'm not totally optimistic about this ball game Saturday. But of course, I'm going to be here at 3:30 Saturday afternoon live streaming it, and we're going to hang out and have a heck of a good time once again doing that. But I'm going to tone myself down just a little bit because I'm going to end up probably croaking on one of these live streams pretty soon if I don't just try to watch this game and calm down a little bit. But anyway, on to what I was talking about earlier. So I don't know who's worse between Sellers and the DJ Ukulele. DJ Ukulele has had a lot longer to get his craft right. He's worked under 3 now different sets of offensive personnel at 3 different schools. So, well, heck, he may have had 2 different sets at Clemson. I can't exactly remember how that bridged over there from the Jeff Scott, Brandon Streeter, Tony Elliott stuff there. But he's went through a lot of coaches. He's went through them like Charmin tissue, and nobody has been able to do anything here. Who in the world has ever seen this before? And here's the weird thing about this, and we want to talk about Sellers having a first game where he's looked just absolutely horrendous. DJ Ukulele looked lights out his first game. This guy looked like he was going to be an immense, major problem. That was back during the COVID year when they played at Notre Dame. He threw for more yards in Notre Dame Stadium than anyone had, I believe, as a visiting quarterback. Hell, it may have been as a quarterback, period, at the time. Ever. I was like, oh my gosh. Well, that game went to overtime too, so it had a little bit longer. But I was like, oh my God. I mean, I just buried my head down, and I was like, they lost the game, which I took a lot of joy in that. But I was like, oh my God, here we go again. I'm like, because Trevor Lawrence was out sick, COVID, I think. Oh, I'm like, here comes another one. Here comes another one. Another one in the line of generational quarterbacks, from Watson, now Lawrence, and now I'm like, this guy may be better than both of them combined. No, not so much. Our fears a couple of weeks later. Well, it wasn't a couple of weeks later, because they put him back on the bench. It wasn't until the Georgia game the next year that you actually saw that this guy doesn't have it. So I don't know. I don't know what Florida State's doing. I don't know what the deal is down there. Everybody talks about Mike Norvell, the quarterback guru, and what an offensive mind is. What an overrated coach. Just an overrated coach. someone in the comment section last night I saw on the Uncle Lou live stream, by the way, there said that Florida State last year, they were basically 2021 Michigan State, in that took a bunch of transfers in, which made it to a New Year's Six bowl, and then immediately turned back into a giant turd burger. Yeah, that was back before Mel Tucker was having phone sex, or what? Well, maybe he was having phone sex then, but I don't know. I'm not sure about that. But he was right. Whoever this was right. How quick we are to forget that Michigan State had a team built with a ton of transfers that year, led by running back Kenneth Walker, who'd come from Wake Forest, that really didn't do a whole heck of a lot at Wake Forest. And maybe he showed some flashes, I'm not sure. But yeah, he didn't. And then that team just totally went back to like being a 500 team when all those transfers were gone. Is that what Florida State turned into? Maybe. You can't build the entire roster off that. But the thing is, they're not. They're recruiting well at the high school level. They're recruiting really well. I don't know if I'm not sure if they're top 10 this year or not. I haven't taken a look at those rankings for a while. I actually stopped taking a look at those rankings when it became clear to me that our recruiting class for 2025 is going to be the absolute shits. So I'm pretty much just tapped it. That and Tennessee continues to pile up all these really good players, which it just absolutely totally makes me sick. But I mean, it is what it is. At this point, I have to accept it. They're going to have a really good recruiting class, and they're going to be a problem this year, and probably going to be an extreme problem 2-3 years down the road. I just resign myself to that fact. They're going to be in the college football playoffs. This Nico guy, as much as I like to hate on him, probably is the truth. So, once again, NIL money, and that's another thing too. And I know this has become a long video. You're probably like, my God, this guy's rambling on forever. Well, this is a long drive that I have to make to go do these potato chips, and I like to talk to you guys. Even though we're not live right now, I still feel like I'm speaking to you. So I made the point, and we seem to forget this too. But I mean, we're always talking NIL, we're always talking transfer portal. But then when the games start getting played, we kind of just zone in on the games themselves, and we forget about some of the outside elements. But South Carolina's performance, here we go on another one of them South Carolina secondary roads. This would be Highway 252 in Lawrence County. Absolutely just a joke of a road. I mean, it might as well not even be paved. This isn't fit for a horse and buggy to be going down. This is not fit for the Amish people, let alone somebody who's out here trying to drive a commercial vehicle. These guys are getting paid right now. They are getting paid to go out there and put up these terrible performances. Getting paid to put up terrible performances. And I don't know what that does really to a locker room. I think that you have to be, and this is why I think like the Kirby Smarts of the world, and who else? I hate to admit it, Josh Heupel maybe, because he's starting to climb up there into a pretty high class. Lane Kiffin, all these guys that are actually good coaches are people I really don't like. Well, I mean, Kirby Smart, I really don't dislike him, other than he's taken a couple of our recruits and he's stolen a coach or two. But I mean, does it really matter at this point? No, I don't think it really does. Who else are we talking about here? I don't know. Sark, maybe. Who else is a good coach? Hell, maybe even James Franklin. I'd throw a James Franklin up there. I think he's I think he's underrated as a coach. He's done some really good things over his entire body of work. He just hasn't been able to quite win the big one. A Ryan Day, a coach like that. What these guys have been able to do with the NIL is not everybody is getting paid. They ain't all getting something. Some of them aren't getting paid. Some of them are getting a scholarship. some of your second teamers and your guys that are buried on down the depth chart that may be on scholarship, but they're not getting anything. You know, how does that look, and how do you manage that in a locker room as a coach, besides someone like a Carson Beck, who's getting a massive NIL deal, right? Or somebody like a Quinshaw Junkins at Ohio State, who's getting a massive NIL deal, but I'm the third string running back, and yeah, I might be on scholarship, but I'm basically getting 2 packs of ramen noodles, key to my dorm room, and being told, hey, be back at practice at 6 o'clock in the morning. Now, I mean, how does that work, and how do you balance that out? You've got to be a really, you got to be really good. You've got to be a really good manager, a really good CEO, as well as being a good football mind to be able to make that stuff mesh and be able to still make these people perform as a team and a unit. Because it would be very easy for me, just from the outside looking in, for something like that to implode. And any company I've ever worked for in the past where I've been in management, it's always been considered to be against the rules, taboo, if you will, to speak about your salary to someone else, to let a coworker know what your compensation is, whether it be your yearly salary or how much you're paid an hour. However, it's always discussed. It's always discussed around the water cooler. Everybody always knows. And in college sports, of course, it's going to be known. You know, whether you decide to open your mouth up to the guy sitting beside you in the locker room and telling them how much the NIL is giving you, which I'm sure they probably all do anyway. Well, you're also going to know that by the fact that you're rolling up in a freaking Hummer or a Lamborghini or whatever it is, because these guys, they're not saving that money. Well, they might be, some of them saving some of it, I don't know, but they're also going to go out, their kids, they're going to go out and do what? They're going to purchase toys. They're going to get toys, so everybody's going to know. Yeah, I would feel jealous about it too, but look, you got to level your game up and get better. In the world of business and being a manager in a retail store setting, or an office setting, or wherever, you can kind of explain away why, if you're a manager, if so-and-so comes to you wanting to know why so-and-so makes more money than I do. Well, okay, you can explain it away by saying, well, he came from, the X company, and then when it went bankrupt and he came on board with us, he had 12 years of experience, and so that's why he commands a little bit higher of a salary. Or X and X has been here working with us for 20 years. What are you talking about? Yeah, of course he's going to be making more than you do. Or this, or X, he runs the shifts at nighttime. You don't do that. Or so-and-so has open availability on their schedule. You don't have that either. So that's why they're making more money than you. There's other reasons why you can explain things away. And with the NIL thing, it's pretty much just, I don't know. They're better than you, Chief. They're better than you. How else do you look at it? How do you deliver that message to someone without totally crushing them? That's why you got so many people jumping in the portal. It's absolutely, I think, look, I thought for years these people should be given some kind of compensation. It's not fair that they're given a scholarship, and you go to class and you're expected to just go out here and basically put your body on the line every week for people to make money off of, and you're not making any of it. This has to be regulated in some way, shape, or form. But that's not for me to decide, and I don't have the model for that. I just know what I can see from the outside looking in. Hey, look, this has been an extremely long video. It's going to take an extremely longer time to upload it, but I've enjoyed sitting here talking with you folks this morning. DJ Ukulele is not it. I don't know how Mike Norvell managed to be someone who seems to be a skilled fisherman that pulled a gigantic carp out of the pond. But dude, you need to throw it back and go find yourself a bass, a delicious bass. You need to do something down there because your season's tanking quickly. I don't understand how someone who's supposedly a quarterback guru and such a great offensive mind comes up with this. How do you come up with this? I mean, first of all, if that's what you were going to come up with, why did you let that Tate Rutabaga kid transfer out? I mean, he was better than what you had last night. He was better than what you had last night. You should have just rolled with him and stuck with him and said, Tate, stay around. You can get a chance next year, buddy. No. But you go out and get somebody. It's really silly thinking that you're going to be able to change somebody like that. And I've said it before. It's akin to the everybody knows one out there, the woman who's got a boyfriend who he's either verbally abusive to her, or he's mean to her, or he smacks her around a little bit. Well, guess what? His first two girlfriends and his first wife, he did the same thing to them. He did the same thing to them too. But you think you're going to be able to rehabilitate him? He won't do that to me. Yeah, he will. Yeah, he will. He's going to throw an interception to a wide open receiver in the back of the end zone, and he's also going to give you a black eye. I'll see you guys later on. I appreciate it. Peace. I'm out of here. Despite all of the negative energy around the program right now, and it's not just coming from me, it comes from a lot of different places. It comes from a fan base who's absolutely fed up. We're fed up. We're fed up with looking at all these other programs out there around the country, like a Kansas, who's been in the toilet forever, like a freaking Tennessee, like a Texas, who had all the money, talent, and resources in the world, that's average as hell for I don't know how many years, like an Ole Miss, like I don't know, insert X team here. You can find some more examples out there of teams who have been either average or not real good, leveling up and getting better, and we're still sitting here treading water with our shoes in concrete. We're tired of it. We're sick of it. We're sick of hearing the same old rhetoric from the same old coaches that they continue hiring over and over. Shane Beamer is nothing more than a skinny, nicer version of Will Muschamp. They're both stuck in the Stone Age in terms of offense. They both make horrible offensive coordinator hires, and neither one of them know how to talk to the media properly. That's basically about it. That's all I got to say. Anyway, I will see you guys later on. I appreciate it. Peace. I'm out of here. Still, go Gamecocks. Woo!